Good morning, students. Today we shall solve a few questions of Unit 1 Electrostatics. The first question: two charges 5 into 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb and minus 3 into 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb are located 16 centimeters apart. At what point on the line joining the two charges is the electric potential 0? Let us solve this. Let's draw the diagram first. It's always good to have a diagram. Let the two charges be denoted as QA and QB. Let us say the potential is 0 at this point O. Considering this distance to be as x, the total distance given is 16 centimeters, that is 0.16 meters. Now, according to the question, the potential at O is 0. If the potential at O is 0, then we may write it in mathematical form as VA plus VB equals to 0 at O. Let us put the numerical values of VA and VB. 9 into 10 to the power 9 QA by x square, by x plus 9 into 10 to the power 9 QB by 0.16 minus x. This is because this distance is x, so this distance would be 0.16 minus x. That is equals to 0. Solving it, 9 into 10 to the power 9 common. The value of QA is 5 into 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb divided by x, plus this one is minus 3 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by 0.16 minus x, that is equals to 0. If you continue solving, 5 into 10 to the power minus 8 by x is equals to 3 into 10 to the power minus 8 by 0.16 minus x. If you solve this, you will be getting a value and be giving you the solution directly. X equals to 0.1 meter. So this is how you solve such problems. Please have a look at it. The second question of today, capacitors. A 600 PF capacitor is charged by a 200 volt supply. It is then disconnected from the supply and is connected to another uncharged 600 PF capacitor. How much electrostatic energy is lost? Now, let us solve this. If you remember the expression for energy lost, you might recall this. Energy lost is written as C1 C2 V1 minus V2 whole square by 2 C1 plus C2 within brackets. V1 is the initial potential or potential difference. V2 is the final potential difference. Here, since the second capacitor is uncharged, V2 equals to 0. Now you simply need to put the values. Values are 600 PF multiplied by another 600 PF. If you multiply those and put the value of PF, that comes out to be 36 into 10 to the power 20 minus 20. The value of V2 is 0. So putting the value of V1, that is 200 volt, squaring it, that comes out to be 4 into 10 to the power 4 whole divided by, if you add these two, 600 plus 600, that is 1200, that can be written as 12 into 10 to the power minus 10, right? You can solve this out. This is the result of this. It's a very simple calculation. That is 6 into 10 to the power minus 6 joules. This is how you use this formula. This particular problem is solved to show how you use this formula. Fine, have a look at it. The third question of today. A cube of side B has a charge Q at each of its vertices. Determine the potential and electric field due to this charge array at the center of the cube. Very simple. Let us say the cube has 8 vertices. Now, the distance of one vertex from the center of the cube, let it be r. Let us first find out that r equals to half square root of the side squares and the sum. So it's a cube, therefore all sides are equal. So if you solve this, that comes out to be root 3 by 2 b. This is the distance, half, because we have taken the distance. This is the diameter and the half value. So the distance of the vertex from the center is root 3 by 2 b. Now let us find out the potential at the center due to one of these charges. That is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. If Q is one charge, multiplied by Q by R. This is the value. Now for all 8 charges, the potential would be V dash equals to 8 times the potential, because potential simply gets added, and that is with proper sign, since all the charges are having the same sign, so no need to worry, we simply can multiply it by 8. V dash equals to, the value is, just multiply it, 8q by 4 pi epsilon naught, and the value of r is root over of 3b by 2. You can put the value, right? V dash, that is the total potential, will be equals to 4q by pi epsilon naught, or rather you can put root 3 first, root 3 pi epsilon naught b. So this is the expression for the potential, net potential at the center of the cube due to the 8 charges. This is the first part. Now, as far as the electric field is concerned, the second part, since there are equal charges on opposite vertices, the potential due to the electric field due to each of the pair would be 0 at the center. 8 charges, definitely there are similar pairs, so the net electric field is 0. We can write this due to the symmetry. The net electric field at the center is 0. You might not need to calculate. Okay, have a look at it. The fourth question of today. A sensitive instrument is to be shifted from the strong electrostatic field in its environment. Suggest a possible way. Sensitive instruments, it could be a microprocessor, it could be other electrical or electrostatic instruments which need to be shifted from a strong field, or there is an electric field where you need to shift it. Normally these instruments and devices, they are very sensitive and they generally get damaged when they come in strong electric field. But you need to shift it. How would you do it? There is a way. This can be done by enclosing this instrument, this sensitive instrument, in a metallic cage. Right? You now probably are able to understand what I am hinting at. So the instrument could be enclosed inside a metallic cage No, why? This is simply because this metallic cage, suppose you have this metallic cage and you have your instrument here, right? This metallic cage behaves as a Faraday cage. And the net electric field inside the Faraday cage is 0. Even if you have a strong electric field outside, the net electric field inside is 0. So as you put this instrument inside the metallic cage and if you shift it, it will always remain in a region which is free of electrostatic field intensity. So therefore there is no risk of getting damaged. This is how you shift instruments from one place to another. In fact, this kind of a system is also called electrostatic safe bags or cages. They are actually, in practice, they are used electrostatic safe bags or packages. Okay, have a look at it. The next question. Students, how can the whole charge of a conductor be transferred to another isolated conductor? The entire charge of a conductor how can you transfer it to another conductor? Isolated one. Suppose you have this conductor which is charged. Suppose the charge is Q. You want to transfer this to another conductor. Suppose this is conductor A and you want to transfer to another conductor which is uncharged. How are you going to transfer the entire charge Q to this? See, there is a trick. If you hollow this up, suppose this conductor is hollowed up, you can easily hollow it up. If this conductor is B, you can hollow it up, but mind it, it's covered. Let's say hollow. Now you bring this conductor inside. You bring it inside. As you bring this inside, suppose you have brought this inside, the next stage, let me show you the next stage. You have brought this conductor inside A with the charge of Q. Now what you do is connect this conductor with a wire. If you have a provision like that, the entire charge will now shift to the outer conductor. The entire charge. Why is this so? Because now this entire system has become a single conductor, and as we know, hollow conductors, when they are given charges, the entire charge resides on the outer surface. So this is the trick how you can transfer the entire charge to another conductor without any loss. And there is no conduction, no induction, like the processes that you've already studied. But this is a trick that generally is very helpful. Okay, have a look at it.